Hey everyone, welcome to the Beyond Boudoir podcast, where I chat with ladies who've been in the studio with me. Hello, I'm Stuart from Classic Boudoir in Nova Scotia, Canada. In the first 18 months of running my studio, I've photographed about 100 women. All of them have left an impression on me. This podcast is all about them and their incredible stories of struggles and pain and self-doubt and, more importantly, perseverance, strength, and overcoming some pretty difficult things. It is not a photography podcast, so we won't be talking about gear or lighting or the industry or cameras or anything like that. These are real chats with real women, so listen in and be inspired, like I am. In this episode, I'm talking with Kelly. Like most episodes, it was recorded straight after her appointment, and this is a long one, over 50 minutes, I believe. But it was really good talking with her. I think we connected on and agreed on many things. I enjoyed getting to know her and hearing some of her story. She really spoke into her sensual and feminine energy and an awakening she had a few years ago. And this boudoir experience is part of that spiritual and sensual journey. And I feel privileged to be part of that. Now, Kelly has had a boudoir experience before with another photographer a couple of years ago, and I assumed that would make her less nervous coming in for this one. But I was wrong. She was nervous, so never assume. Anyway, her images turned out beautiful, and I'm happy to say that she saw that too. So sit back, grab a coffee, and listen while we chat. Hello, Kelly.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
How are you feeling?
Sweaty.
Yeah, it's a bit warm in here today, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Not too much in achy and pains and
No.
No? Oh, okay.
Tomorrow maybe.
Yeah, tomorrow for sure. So why don't you introduce yourself, say who you are and what we've just done.
Okay. I'm Kelly. I'm 50 years old. I have 2 children, 22 and 16, 2 girls. And I work in the education field. Do you want to know anything else about me? Do you know other?
No, that's good. That's all cool. And so we've just finished the session.
Yes.
Did you have fun?
I did have fun.
That's
had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the most important thing for me, is that you've really enjoyed.
Yeah, you guys were really good at making people feel comfortable. And humor helps. Humor helps a lot. So
great. Yeah, thank you for laughing at me, trying to pull all the funny poses.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain you look way better in the poses than I do.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh man, I am quite certain. I've seen, because Liv takes the photos, I've seen me posing and it's not pretty. Plus you had all the outfits on, and so you're gonna...
Yeah, I was all frilly.
Oh man, some of those photos, they're gonna look gorgeous.
I hope so.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Now, this is not your first rodeo, is it?
No.
You've done one before.
Yes, I've done one before, yeah.
Yeah. What made you do the first one?
So I have a love-hate relationship with my body. I love that it moves. I love that it carries me around. I love that it births children. Mm-hmm. But I hate that it doesn't fit societal standards. So in an effort to, I guess, try to, appreciate yourself more and love yourself more, you try to do something to make yourself feel beautiful. Now, I also had come out of a relationship that felt like I wasn't even myself in. Mm-hmm. And when you have children, you lose who you are. So for 22 years, I felt lost, I guess. I was okay.
Yeah.
Being a mom and stuff like that. But as you start to get older and they're older, you start to realize, what about me? What happened to me? Where did I go? Where did all my interests go?
Yeah.
So, after the separation, I just decided I was going to go for it so I could feel good about myself and like the way my body looked.
Yeah.
I felt I owed it to myself almost. So.
And did it work?
It does when I look at the pictures. Yes, it works.
Yes, good.
It does work, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It helps to have people around you who appreciate you for who you are too, and believe that I know it's not, it seems so shallow to talk about the way your looks or your body type or your body image, but it's sort of ingrained in society. So
It is. It sounds like a bit of an oxymoron. You come to somewhere to have, photographs taken in lingerie, so it doesn't matter what you look like, but, boudoir
you're doing
is...
it because you don't like how you look because somebody told you. It's a big
Yeah.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
actually that piece about being accepted by people for who you are, including your
Yeah.
shape.
A big part of it for me too was, so I've had 2 sexual assaults in my life, and during my marriage, like it kind of affected the intimacy, and he wasn't. It was more. Anyway, it wasn't as. It was more ego for him than knowing how to deal with it with your wife. So I had lost a bit of my sensuality, and prior to separating, it had started to come back a little bit. I started to write poetry, erotic poetry. I started to do those types of things, and started painting nudes. Like I just started doing all these things that were awakening a sensuality in me that I forgot I had. So it was an awakening period of my life at 48, the first time, to become sensual as a woman.
I really like that. Somebody asked me to describe my style of photography, and sensual is one of the words that I like to use. So
it was all about, that's what it kind of was, my femininity, my sensuality, bringing my body back to mine.
Yeah.
Because somebody else had taken it, or even birthed children, or even felt like I owed intimacy to my husband, like the feeling that my body was belonging to everybody else.
And not you.
Yeah. So taking that back a little bit, and it's not just the photos, it's the experience.
Right, that's it.
So it's the experience of being vulnerable and letting yourself show, and then letting loose a little bit, and
expressing yourself,
giving those sensual looks, and not feeling weird about it because you're supposed to do it. You know what I mean? It's something. It's almost like it's very intimate.
It is an intimate style. So
even with the photographer and with Liv here, it's an intimate experience that you really put yourself in a vulnerable position, and thank you for allowing that to happen, right?
And so that goes back both ways. Like, thank you for allowing it to happen as well. Like coming here with the history that you've just told us. I can imagine. Well, I can't imagine actually what that was like, but I can imagine some of the thought process that goes into getting you here. And
what's a journey?
Yeah, and it's never ending. I mean, whether you do this again in the future, but I don't know you very well, but I'm guessing you're on that rediscovery, that sensuality, that expression. Like poetry is an expression in itself.
Art,
and it's a form. Absolutely, it's an art form, and just having the ability to have an outlet like that.
Well, that's where it all started, because I was in the marriage, and I just, sometimes nostalgia kicks in and you think about what could have been or what your life was like before. And then you start to pick up things that maybe you did before. And then you start thinking more, and it leads you to a different way. And then you just it's almost like it just happens, and well, if you're a person that needs to go, when it's time to go. And when you need to step up and take care of yourself.
Put yourself first
many
for
years,
a while. And it always sounds selfish, isn't it? You've got to put yourself first, but it's not, is it?
Because I never have. I put every single person in my life ahead of me. So.
Yeah, and it's not, in fact, the opposite. It's to take care of yourself is a selfless act.
Yes,
because
so you
there
care
is
for other people.
Yeah, because, you can go too far, obviously. Like there are some very, very selfish people, but self-care is not selfish.
Yes. It depends on what it is, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And to do it at the total exclusion of others is the wrong way. But
absolutely.
There's a phrase that my wife uses a lot, which is you can't pour from an empty cup.
No, that's very true.
Yeah. So you have to top yourself up.
Yeah, I was running on empty for a long, long time. So.
Yeah, you know what? That's interesting. You said that exact phrase because I went through something, and one of the things that pulled me out and helped me make sense of what the crazy things that were going around in my head was a book called Running on Empty.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's the link. And a lot of things fell into place. It's like, oh, okay. Oh, you know what? That makes total sense, and why I do that, and I'm this and that.
Yeah, well, there's a thing. I know women do self-sacrifice. Men probably do it too, but I know that I was raised. My mom self-sacrificed. I self-sacrificed. Now my children have probably witnessed that. So I also think I need to be a role model to show them that as well, that they need to put some time for themselves.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I think we've modelled that quite well for our boys. You know, after some parts of our marriage, like everyone's, have been rocky, and we've worked really hard on ourselves.
Yeah.
And then the marriage, you know,
Yeah.
heals because of that.
Right.
We had some couples therapy, but mostly it was us fixing our own shit.
It usually is.
Yeah.
And then the issue is when the other person doesn't want to, and they can't recognize it, or they can't.
Yeah. And that's the selfish part. Like,
exactly.
I'm right. But that means they're defensive and they're...
And that means it's just time for you to go.
It is, yeah. And, you know, they've gone through their crap to get to that point.
It's a work together. Like, it has
to be a work
street.
together.
You can't just be one person.
Yeah. And Rachel did hers first. And then I came along afterwards.
Takes a while.
Yeah, it took a while.
Well, it's hard to face something.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't know what you don't know, and then all of a sudden you do know, and then it's like, oh crap.
Well, that's kind of what happened with the sexual assaults. Like, I had kind of blocked them out as whatever reason.
Anyway.
That's another story.
Yeah.
But this has helped me to reclaim my body is mine. And, I mean, and that's part of the tattoos too, right?
Yeah.
That's all the pieces.
Yeah. You know, I totally forgot to ask about most of them, because you've got a few, and they're...
You have a lot.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. And so are you an art tattoos or a story tattoo? Or both?
They mostly have purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the one for my birthday, winter solstice, I have my boots on the back of my leg. I have a Medusa, which is for sexual assault.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, survivors of those. Yeah, so Medusa.
Okay. Right.
And the flowers were a meaning from individuals from my past, but it was also a cover-up.
Right.
I have quills and ink that is a cover-up as well, just because of my poetry. I have poetry. So I have a lot of things that are meaningful to me. My back is the earth, air, fire, water, ether.
Yeah. So you've turned yourself into an art form.
Yeah.
Or art, not an art form. But...
And, you know, it's funny because it's all been in the last 2 years. Like, I had tattoos previously, but I've covered them all up since then. So this has been a new work of art in progress. Boudoir sessions, traveling, and tattoos.
Yeah.
And therapy.
And therapy.
Just kidding.
Yeah. You know, sometimes it's necessary. I did.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the other thing about doing these sessions too, like, both of my children have eating disorders, and I probably do too. Not that it's uncommon these days, but also showing that body positivity. I'm trying to be more of a model for body positivity too. So I think that these sessions help with that.
Yeah.
Because you're celebrating yourself.
So your children are old enough that you could show them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Not that they want to see, but
no. Say, oh, Mom.
They've seen a couple, but not the other ones.
No. You know, there's only, of course, there's some you want to show, and then you know, some people you want to show other ones to, and that's cool. But yeah, I think the modelling of body positivity is extremely important.
And that's one of the things I like about the way you're advertising too. It's about women over 50. You're advertising that piece about all bodies being beautiful. Yeah, regardless of your age. It's hard to get older. And
because you get older, I think for me, it's because, and that's not to say that the 20-year-olds aren't beautiful. They are. Like, they are beautiful.
Yeah.
But for me, as we age, including us fellas, but you know, I'm a straight man, so you know, the female form is beautiful to me anyway.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's beautiful to me.
Yeah. But as you age and your body changes and you have kids, and I know that makes a lot of women self-conscious. I know it does, because I've spoken to a lot of men here, and I'm married to a woman as well. Yeah. It's funny. I think most men, certainly the ones that I speak to, we love that. self-conscious about your mum tummy and your
I
mum
know.
bods, and we love it.
Yeah.
If it's someone you love, like
Yeah.
as their body changes, as things head in different
Yes,
directions,
I've
and
been fortunate in the last couple of years, so
yeah,
it's been a part of my journey to healing as well. So
yeah. Rachel gets more beautiful to me every day.
that's
Every day.
beautiful. That's lovely.
Yeah,
And I think it's too because you start as you get older too. You start to see bodies as a shell as opposed to your identity.
right.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I totally do. Like
And the shell is still beautiful and it's changing and morphing, but it's the inside that you really because you don't grow up inside. Like I still feel like I'm 20.
Yeah.
I'm just in a different body, which is also why it's difficult to look in the mirror. I'm like,
I know.
But I think that, yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like mixing up identity with in the internal is like when you're young, of course. Like
Oh, yeah.
you have the beach body or the buff. I mean, I was military, so everyone around me, all the men around me, were all buff military fellas, and a lot of effort goes into maintaining that physical identity, and for women as well. I know the media and society and everything feeds into that, and then as you age, media kind of ignores you a bit, so it takes off some of the pressure,
Oh.
and then because
But at the same time,
but it's still
nobody's
very
paying
highly
attention and
critical.
noticing that you're still beautiful. You know what I mean?
Right. And so you can then see yourself as a whole person who's got lived experiences, who's done things, and now your purely physical form is not the most important thing. It's not what defines your beauty.
Right. So I think too, part of when you're older that I find for me, the challenge in getting older is that you think nostalgia wise, you're only looking at the surface. You forget all the things that you've gone through at that age, like and how hard it was, and just the way you've evolved that age and the standards and all those things. You forget all those things. And as you get older, you kind of realize that that's just like nostalgia. I find it's a mind fuck, really. It is like you think it's supposed to, like you go back and you think it'll be exactly the same, and then it would never be the same. You know what I mean? So, and you only remember little bits of it.
Yeah.
So if you're thinking about being young or looking young, you forget that you hated your hair that day. You know what I mean? Like you just, when you get older, you're more living more authentically.
I think so. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like there is less pressure to maintain a look. They're still there.
Yes.
Like there's not to say that, just because you're in your 50s or whatever, that you're not expected to maintain a look, but it's less because the media is more focused on the 20-year-old beach body. So,
well, which is what's hard because then you think you're supposed to still look like you're 20. Right?
Because you've been told you're supposed to look that way. Which
like
is
all you see is like people like Meryl Streep, but everybody's getting older and everybody's like going on about how awful they look. They're older. But then if they get plastic surgery, what do they do to their face? So it's just constant contradiction.
Yeah, you can't win.
Yeah, so you just have to come to the point where you're...
Screw it.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, sorry.
There was... I actually posted it on my page. There was a picture of Martha Stewart in her 80s, and she had some very glamorous shots done.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes.
And the article wasn't about her. I mean, I don't know too much about her, but the article was about how young she looked. That was it. That was pretty much it. How young she looks. Yeah, and it said, like, Martha Stewart 80 gets this, that, and the other done. And she looked amazing. Of course she did. Like, but... The article was just focused on how young she looked, not the fact that she's done whatever she's done in her life.
She's been through a lot.
Yeah, I don't know too much about her. I think she's more of a North American figure. Yeah, I know she. Yeah, I kind of know hints, but I don't know too much about her. But yeah,
it's a focus.
It's the focus. It wasn't that she's lived a life and that she's a this type of person or that type of person. It's like, look how young she looks. Yeah. Like, I don't know. It just. So I posted it, and with my explanation was not like, oh, look how amazing she looks. But there's a phrase that I hate. She looks great for her age. I detest
for
that.
her age.
Yeah, it's such a put down to me. I always, if someone said that to me, what they're basically saying is, you look really old, but that's okay because you are really old. Yeah.
And why do I need your permission?
Exactly. I'm just going to be who I am.
Yeah.
I don't know. We all have different, those pressures play on us differently.
Oh, yeah, it's for men too. Yeah.
I think ours are different. Like there is an increase in how you're supposed to look for sure. But our pressures have traditionally been different. Providing, being successful, strong, masculine, insensitive. But at the same time, you have to be sensitive, and how do you do both?
It's the same, it's just different.
Right, so the pressures are different, but they're still there. They always have been, and that's why many men struggle with their mental health. Yeah, because you're not supposed to have it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to have any emotions.
Right, exactly. And as I got older, because I'm 52 now, that changed. Like, and well, it kind of cracked open in a very dramatic way. You know, and then it's like, okay, now I'm supposed to have them. Okay,
there's usually a pivotal moment.
Yes, it was a very pivot. Yeah, it was actually. It was it was a minor moment. It was very, very minor. Yeah, kind of snowballed from there. But but
so sometimes it's just one little thing that opens the floodgates.
Yeah. Man, did they ever open? I don't think. Yeah, but now we're here,
and you have this business,
and I have this, and that, it's both. It is my business, and I choose to do this, but I choose to do it because it has meaning for me.
Right.
So it's both. I'm very lucky that my wife is supportive. I'm lucky to have seen her go through some of the body challenges and the other issues that you've talked about tonight. Watched her deal and wrangle those and come through as the amazingly beautiful person that she is. And now she supports me doing this.
That's lovely.
And I saw what that body accept, but it's deeper than body acceptance. That's just like that's like level one of looking after yourself. Is, you know what, I want to love myself, but then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah, it is deeper than that.
And so for me, this is beyond taking pretty pictures of beautiful ladies. Like, and they are pretty pictures of beautiful ladies. They are beautiful ladies. But it's more because I've seen what it does. I've seen the other ladies who've been in here. They cry. Some of them cry their eyes out when they see the pictures of themselves for the first time.
Think you could see yourself in that way.
Yeah.
You put yourself behind so long.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like pampered. Your hair's done. Your makeup's done. And people are taking pictures and telling you you're beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, it feels good.
Yeah, it does feel good. And then, but now you've got evidence. Because when somebody says to you, you're beautiful, like I know a lot of people's reaction is, internally it's like, okay, right, whatever. Yeah. But now you've got evidence, like, that you are beautiful.
I'm showing you that you are. And
here you go, ta-da!
And you look at it, you know it's beautiful.
But that's an external. The other thing is, while you're in here, I hope you feel beautiful.
Well, that's what I mean about the vulnerability piece, being able to be yourself, and all of a sudden, like when you first walk out, you're covering your boobs up, and by the end, you're naked on a stripper pole, like, you know. So, I wasn't naked.
He wasn't naked on the stripper pole,
but I was naked on a bed.
Yeah,
like, you know, so you don't expect that to happen, but
no.
And that's the piece of the inner awakening of the sensuality that starts to come out when you do something like this.
Yeah.
It kind of like tickles it, and then you're like, oh, I kind of like to feel like that. Oh, nobody judged me. Like, you know? So it's a really...
Positively. Yeah. Like we love the fact that you want to do that. And even if you came in here and you didn't want to do it initially...
exactly.
The fact that when we suggest, like, when we do this, it looks really nice when you do that. And you're like, I think I do want to do that. Yeah.
Well, and it's about pushing your own boundaries, too, and to be comfortable with yourself. And it helps build a bit of sense of confidence in you that when you take those little steps that you're afraid to do. And it seems so trivial to talk about the way we look and the way we present ourselves, but...
It does.
It's huge in our own mental health and our own self-esteem, our self-worth, and how we portray ourselves to everybody else.
Yeah.
So
it totally is.
It is important.
Yeah.
Not looks, but you know what I mean? It's not superficially. It's important to value For a woman, it's important to value your sense of woman and your sensuality. Like,
Yeah.
I feel now, at this point in my life, after years of trying to lose weight, trying to do this, have the kids, trying to impress my husband, trying to make sure that I, whatever, worked out or I ate the right thing, to now being with somebody who I say to myself, I'm a woman and I like being a woman.
With
like
him.
I felt like not like a woman before, but like these types of experiences and the awakening that comes with a lot of this type of vulnerability, really, like, I am woman. That's what I feel now. Like,
Yeah.
I feel
And
like a goddess some days. Like, you know?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
And it speaks into when you're unconfident and when you've had like all of those negative experience, you have to get to a certain point where you're prepared to be vulnerable in here.
Before you can.
So you've got to have done
There's a tipping
work.
point.
Exactly. There is a tipping point, and it shows. Like, Liv and I always joke that we know when we can ask you for nudes. Like, we know.
You can tell.
We can tell. Like, you've relaxed into it, and that's coming through. But it's more that we know what it takes to get in the door.
Oh, I was nervous coming.
Of course, and you've done it before.
Yeah.
And you've been on a spiritual, sensual awakening for a couple of years now, and you were still nervous coming in the door.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, what was the nerves?
Well, it was because I didn't know. And then there's that inner grained piece inside of me that, oh, are they going to judge me? Even though I knew you weren't, because that was the whole philosophy.
Yeah.
But your own inner stuff takes over a little bit, triggers you a little bit. So it was more about that, and it was about being vulnerable and showing myself to people I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that's what made me nervous, but it went away really quick. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Thank you for just kind of going with us and working with us and showing up. Like, it's just incredible.
It was fun.
So I have a question.
Sure.
Did the fact that I'm a male photographer have any bearing?
No.
Cool.
It did at first. I was like, well, it's a male. But it wasn't because I was afraid to be in front of a male. It's because, I have a partner. They're going to let me.
Right.
And then I was like, well, I'm not even going to tell him. But no. But it wasn't about that mostly. It was about that, I guess, just... And you had said that Liv was here. You said, all these things are things that you put in place to make it comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see, like, and you're more mature. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You're mature.
Yeah.
If this was like some 20-year-old or 30-year-old trying to do it, it might make me feel more comfortable. And that's stereotypical of me, but just because my own lived experiences probably.
Yeah, sure.
But the maturity and the professionalism and the fact that you have a vision and the philosophy is actually, it's actually, it just fits. And so I wasn't, it didn't matter that you were male.
Great, thank you.
Because of the situation, because of the things you put in place.
Yeah. Good.
The meeting over the Zoom, the phone calls, ability to text, your flexibility in changing things and conversations. Just, it helps.
Oh, that's really nice to hear.
Because relationships are important, right?
Yes. I intentionally, not just to make you comfortable. I actually really like the interactions.
Well, it would help you too.
Yeah, it does.
To know
for
the
sure.
person who you're trying to get photos of.
Because I'm an introvert, and when people show up, I get nervous. I want to, and so it's for me as well to get to know you, and that's the other reason for the Pinterest board is
I like the Pinterest board.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
That's
Somebody told me I'd never used Pinterest before.
I didn't know you could collaborate in a little group.
Yeah,
which is nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But that's for me. It's more than just showing you some things. It's actually I want the input from you.
You're hearing what you're looking for. Like you were hearing what I was looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
What I was expecting.
Yeah.
And how to shape that into a session.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we really don't use the shots much from those boards, or from that board. It's for me. It's an
icebreaker too.
It is an icebreaker. It's
She's
like,
showing,
she
bodies
put
in a
that
certain
one on
position.
there.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and you get to, like, depending on what you put on there, you do get to know a little bit about the person and how far they're really willing to go. If I put a stripper pole on there, you're like, okay, she's going to do stripper. But if I was very modest and I had myself covered, every picture was covered, and, that's different.
Yeah, because then that sets a bit of a scene and tone for your, like you say, if you'd have come in and all of the things that you'd shared would have been quite conservative and covered, and that's fine, they're beautiful sessions, I probably wouldn't push or ask for, the more raunchy stuff, because it's probably going to frighten you off, and I don't want that.
Well, make you feel uncomfortable. You want people to feel uncomfortable and do it at their own pace.
Exactly.
To build the trust.
Exactly. And if we get halfway through and they say, you know what, this is fun, let's do that.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We'll shift it up. Yeah.
Exactly. So that the lady in my office, the one with the red sheet on, she was kind of mid-60s, a very conservative Christian lady.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And
see, we all have it in us.
we do. But she was insistent because, like in the pre-session questionnaire, it's like, how, what kind of photography do you like? Like, do you want demure? Do you want sexy and raunchy? Do you want and she's like, she ticked all the kind of mid-level boxes, kind of like that, and there in the box she wrote no nudes. That was it.
I wrote that?
No, not you. No, no, not you. And so I was like, cool, yeah, of course. No, of course we don't insist on nudes, we do them if you want to. And so we got, I don't know, maybe halfway through, and she's loosening up and she's really getting into it. And she's got smiley, and she brought outfits that really pushed her comfort level.
Good.
She brought them with her, even though she said she wanted, covered and conservative. Red lacy numbers, they were beautiful. And she dropped into it and she's like, I think I might want to do one of those. And so we did. We got the red sheet out and we did this beautiful standing pose, and her face when we did it, like.
But that's a testament to how you're interacting with the people and building that trust and safe space, right? Yeah. Because if she felt uncomfortable, she wouldn't have done it.
Oh yeah, not a chance, right? Not a chance would she have done it.
It takes two people to be able to do it.
Yeah.
To be able to help make people feel comfortable.
Yeah.
It really does. Bring out your vulnerability. You don't just throw that out there to anyone.
No, and it takes both. Like she had to, be able to feel that vulnerability and feel that she could express and say, I want to do that. And yes, we need to make it known that, whatever your wishes are, that's what we're here for.
That's what we're starting with, for sure. Yeah. Right. And then, you might go elsewhere. Yeah. But I think vulnerability is just such a beautiful thing, really. It's scary, but it really...
Once you experience it and it's safe to experience it, then you can do more of it. Mm-hmm. And then you can make more choices. Mm-hmm.
It's really pushing your limits, too.
Yeah.
It's scary, but...
It is.
When you feel safe, you do.
Yeah.
And that's the environment that you created. So.
Yeah.
Thank
you. I like to think so. Oh, thank you. Thank you, too. I get embarrassed when people say nice things about me.
I don't like it either. You told me it's beautiful. So, stop it.
I know. Oh, yeah. Everyone does it.
Yeah.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have one parting question. Then.
Okay.
What would you say to someone who's on the fence about doing it or not because they are too old, too young, too thin, too large, too this, that, or other?
I would just say just try it. Even book the consultation. Book a consultation about it. Hear what it's about, because you don't know what you don't know. And once you start to build a relationship with somebody, a photographer or whatnot, you start to feel more comfortable. Mm-hmm. And inside, if you're thinking about it, you really want to do it.
Yeah. Although you wouldn't have reached out in the first place.
Other things that aren't even true. Like that you just tell, it's the stories we tell ourselves, right? Yeah. That somebody's going to judge us, somebody's going to think we're too old, somebody's going to think that. So just start the little baby step, or I don't know. I just do it, but it's everybody's has their own pace to go into something like that. Do. But it's definitely a worthwhile experience that I think every woman should experience. Absolutely.
I agree. Yeah. I do. Yeah. Just I wholeheartedly agree.
For themselves, like.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta share my pictures with my partner, but that's not why.
They're not for him.
No.
No.
I did it for me, right?
It's, that's really...
I want to see them.
Yeah.
I want to see me look sexy.
Yeah.
I want to see me in that suit. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I want to see that. I want to see my ass. Like, you don't get to see your butt, right? I want to see, what does it look like? Oh, that's not too bad.
Oh, that's quite nice.
That is nice. Not much wonder he likes it.
Oh, I see what he sees now.
No. And you know what? And it's also an awakening to yourself and your sexuality when you're intimate, because now you're seeing yourself more confident in your own body, so you become more confident in your
intimate relationships.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah, and it makes things just so much more a different level.
It does. Mm-hmm. It's one less thing that you're worrying about. Mm-hmm. Like, not only can you be confident in that situation, but it's just another worry gone.
And I think that's why you're confident. You don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
You know that.
You're not like preoccupied. Oh, what does he think? What does he think about me looking like this?
Or what,
he must.
What do I look like?
Yeah,
you don't know what you look like.
But we project it. It's like, not what do I look like. It's what do I think he thinks I look like, or that person.
Yes, or her.
Yeah. And then you play the games. It's like, they probably think I look fat, or
all my rolls are showing out.
And all my, you know what? And they probably are. And you know what that person's thinking? Heck yeah.
Give me a handful.
Yeah, right. Because if you're with someone who loves you...
And that's the other thing. Like, I'm appreciating a curve for your body, because it feels woman to me. It feels goddessy. Yeah. It doesn't... Like, if I look at photos now, like, I'm looking at, like, old goddess pictures of the, Marilyn Monroe, or people, goddesses from the olden days, before...
Yeah, before the internet. Yeah. And all the statues.
Beautiful there.
There was no skinny models in statues.
Yeah.
They've all got hips, and they've all got
much
tummies.
Better looking.
Yeah.
Not that, thin is great too.
Yeah.
Everybody looks good.
Of course.
But I'm just saying there's appreciation now of my own self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. Right. Thank you again. Very great experience.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it as well. And you can probably tell I really enjoy what I do.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
I love...
It didn't feel like you were working. Well, it was, because you were sweating because you were doing all the poses.
I was very sweaty.
So was I. So that doesn't sound good.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah. So I think that I'd lost my train of thought.
No, it's not work. I mean, it is work.
It
of course
seems like
work.
It's not. And it's effortless because you enjoy it.
I love it, actually, more than enjoy it. I love the interaction. I love the fact that...
You must love the results of how the people feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love the art form. I mean, that's my pictures are everywhere.
Photos, yeah.
They are beautiful photos of beautiful people. Mm-hmm. And so that's my expression of art. I've never been artistic at all. I can't write for toffee. I was thrown out of art class.
You're artistic in your photography.
Right, but it took me a long time to find this art form. And so I love that side of it, the fact that I can create and kind of, you're part of my canvas. Right?
Yes.
That's one side. The other side is I love the fact that I can turn my passion into my job. Yes, that's an amazing feeling.
Good thing to do, yeah.
With all the pluses and minuses that come with that. But I love what it does. And I love this interaction that we're doing now. The feeling that I'm doing something important for
that
other people.
That to somebody's happiness.
To their journey. Be a part of their journey. I wrote a blog article saying I don't empower women. And when I really don't think that I do,
you give them the space to empower themselves.
To do it themselves. Because it's kind of arrogant in it to say I empower women.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, it is. It's about... Because it always comes. It's intrinsic.
Yeah.
And people only open up when they feel safe to do so.
Right. Exactly. And you have to feel safe in the environment.
I went on a date with somebody after my... I probably shouldn't talk about this, but I went on a date with somebody after my separation. It was my first date. And he told me that I wasn't sexy because I wasn't confident enough. And I was like, what? So like he got a earful, obviously. Like you didn't
Sure.
create a space to get all this. Like you know what I mean? You like so that was the attitude, but it's interesting that that would be seen that way by somebody, you know.
I mean, I'm sure there was a way of delivering that, but I mean, there is some truth in that.
Oh
that
yes,
you know,
yes.
you know, if you see a confident man striding down the street, they have an attraction
air
to
about
them.
them.
They do, and the same with women.
Women who are confident.
When you're confident in your body, it shows. You're more receptive. You're less critical of yourself, and so there is truth to that. But I'm sure the delivery could have been a lot better than.
Well, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that
You
sounds
have
pretty.
no idea what you're gonna miss out on. Well, I was just going to say too, I like your setup, and I like that it's an intimate space, and it just feels comfortable. Like, and there's lots of different ways you can
Pose. And
well, just the settings. Even like when I see your pictures, I was looking at all the pictures. I expected like this great big huge studio, but this is more. It's an intimate space that can be shifted and shaped into lots of wonderful.
Yeah, that's
atmospheres.
It's kind of cool. A lot of people say something very similar. It's like when I tell them we've got like 200 feet and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, I
and they're
didn't
like,
even know.
What? Really?
Yeah. Well, the first one, when I first went, she had like 10 rooms. I was going to all these different rooms.
Wow.
And I was like, geez. Like it almost felt colder.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's something to be said about a warm, soft, intimate environment. Especially in this type of event.
I mean, it was actually physically quite warm today.
It was. But it doesn't help all the stretching.
No, you definitely did a lot of stretching today.
Yeah, so what else I would tell people if they're thinking about doing it is to start doing some stretching before they
Limber
actually
up.
book it.
Yes. Oh, that's fun though.
Some yoga.
I do. Yeah, I do yoga, so I can show you the poses.
Oh, you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the only reason. I actually really enjoy it. It's good for relaxing and stuff. But it's definitely part of it.
Yeah. I like the pole edition. It's great.
Isn't it fun?
It is.
Like actually just fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know. I think everybody has it in them that wants to be, a little bit kink, but they would never admit it sometimes. But really deep down, everybody has it. I really think they do. Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah, and it's just kind of in there, sheltered away. And then when they come and they feel comfortable, and then they're wrapping their legs around a pole, and, you know what I mean? Licking
or the chest.
or their chest. Yeah. So I imagine it's a really interesting transformation for you to see from the beginning to the end. Because it is for the individual.
Yes.
To come through. And then when the photos come out, to see the difference.
Yeah. So that's actually when we have our reveal, you will see it like clear as anything. Like from the first ones, everyone is stiff at the beginning. Of course you are. You're nervous, and I know you said when you were sat and getting your hair done towards the end, oh no, the nerves are nearly gone, but I can still see them. They're still there. Of course they are. Oh. And then, we go round and we do the different sets and we move things around. And then I get the impression that people then realise that, this is quite fun. I'm really enjoying it. I'm not being stared at. Like I'm stood around in a pair of knickers and a bra and nobody's staring at me. Yeah. I can just stand here and be.
Yeah, I can let my stomach hang out.
With your everything, wherever it is. And you get to see us and those two and then but I think it's also nice where you get to see the things take shape. Like we don't have set rooms like in your previous it's like, oh, what we're going to do the bed set. Do you fancy doing the bed set? Yeah, great. Okay, you go and take a rest, go and sit down, take the weight off, and we go and set that one up. And
there was space to breathe in between two.
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun.
It is supposed to be fun.
Yeah, and then the pole.
The pole just...
I didn't think of it. Somebody
and the red light with the pole.
Right, there's the feel to it as well. Yeah. Like, I mean, we all know where the pole comes. It's a stripper pole, right? It comes out of strip clubs and
dance pole.
Yeah,
it's a stripper pole. Yeah, we know what it is.
Yeah, I know. I call it the dance pole online because Facebook doesn't like it, but I've said it a few times, but I like the way where it's come from, and it's changed where it's come from.
Oh yeah.
Because many things go the other way. Things get sexualized. This came from a very highly sexualized environment. Yeah, absolutely. But now it's been owned and it's been turned into an art form.
I love that women have done that.
Me too.
Yeah, with lots of things.
Yeah.
Taking back things.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want, and you said it earlier, who doesn't want to feel sexy and attractive and, all of those things? And I think because of the history, where it came from, there is a sexiness to it.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. It's almost forbidden.
Right, it's a bit naughty, it's a bit risky. Yeah. And the clothes, even when they do like the pole lessons, like the dance pole lessons, they're still in their booty shorts and crop tops and big shoes. So they're keeping the sexiness with it. And it's
it's because, I mean, you can do that without feeling judged now. Because it doesn't make you something because you're doing that.
No.
Does it change your person? No,
you found something that you enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. You feel all the feelings, and it's a workout. Like if you ever seen those mostly girls, obviously,
that last
women.
Was a workout.
Yeah, that squat one. See, I told you. It's like,
I can do that.
I'm going to do that one. That looks easy. No,
it was the heels were hard. If I was on flat feet, it would have been easy.
It would have been easier in flats for sure.
Yeah,
but
it was fun though, nonetheless.
Yeah, I love
nice looking shoes. And heels are sexy.
They are.
I don't wear them regularly because
they're impractical as well.
They
like, lacy lingerie with strappy bits, they're sexy, but you don't wear them every day. Like, they're special occasion things. Yeah. And, heels look good, but I couldn't.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine
the damage on feet.
Yeah.
I'd rather wear my boots.
Oh, man. I love it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad we have it.
Oh, yeah. It's a good investment.
Yeah.
I think Ben should do it as well.
So the lady who brought it in, right, she does, she got it for yoga. There's this thing called Polastic Yoga. And she said that there's quite a few fellas that do it, like bodybuilding. They do it for limber.
Yeah, well, they pull them out from the side just by their arms, like parallel to the ground.
Yeah, for strength and what's the word? Subtle. No. Oh. Anyway, supple. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, but I mean, I've tried it a few times. Well, I am not doing the aerial stuff.
No, but it would also be. I think men should come get their boudoirs done too.
Me
too.
And
you've done men?
Only a couple.
Yeah.
I think men invest in themselves differently.
Okay.
I think boudoir has got a very feminine feel to it. There is. So I've got a friend in Chicago. He caters mostly to the gay male.
Yeah.
So he got tons of clients, and his photography is beautiful.
Yeah.
But there is a
stigma too.
Well, I think maybe it's his style, so he attracts. But his is quite a soft and feminine masculinity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know many kind of boudoir photographers that specialise in straight men.
Yeah. I suppose.
But
I bet they'd like it.
I think they would. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the ones that I've had in were
very
straight fellas, you know.
And that ties back to the whole thing about how men are supposed to be a certain way.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Which is why this wouldn't be as appealing. Not that it's not inside.
Right, yeah.
It's just, they may not ever take
and the posing's different. Like, we're not built like you. We don't have the curves like you. We and so it is a very different art form of the same thing.
Yeah,
but I think some of those images can be beautiful.
Well, I've seen some beautiful male models and things like that. There's some great shots.
Have you ever seen? It's turned into a bit of a meme, like a funny meme. But this quite heavy set fella did a joke set for his wife. Oh. So Oh, it's just brilliant. Like,
I've seen a few of those jokes.
and so he's got his jack boots on, and he's got like an orange leotard and an axe over his shoulder and a workman's helmet, and it just, man, it looks like whoever did that with him is just a genius.
Yeah, that's great. That's fun.
Yeah. Oh man, fun. The look on his face is just brilliant.
Oh, that's great. I'll have to look at those again. I've seen some other ones like that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good. But I think, you know what, just do whatever actually feels good for you. Like this, I mean, you've done it twice, so it must make you feel good. And for a fella, if it's not this, find something. Like, find something.
It's a hard journey sometimes to find it, but hopefully you do.
Yeah, I hope so. Mine is actually this. Mine's the other end of the camera.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, you have to find something.
Yeah.
That, you know, makes them feel masculine. Like feeling feminine and attractive and all those good words. Like, of course you want to feel that. And
and there's a whole other conversation, but like the fact that women have become like, I'm independent woman, I'm strong, I'm this and that, I'm independent, and I feel like that. I can do anything. I can raise my family, I can have a mortgage, I can have a car, I can have a job, I can go on trips, I can do boudoir sessions all on my own.
Yep.
I don't want to all the time.
No.
Sometimes it's nice to have a masculine male who takes care of you.
Right.
Just like
the yin and yang.
You would be able to do for a woman would be able to do for a man.
Yeah, sometimes it's nice to have those big, strong arms kind of hold you, you know?
Yeah, and those stereotypical things are almost not stereotypical, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a reason why the feminine and the masculine connect in a certain way, whether it be in two men or two women or two whichever.
Yeah.
There's generally a feminine and a masculine.
Generally.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know,
and we've all got both.
And it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, why can't we be all of it? Yeah. Like, you don't have to be an independent woman. Like, don't turn yourself into a fella. Like,
well, you don't want to be an independent woman who doesn't need anybody, which is what I was becoming. I don't need anybody, but now I'm meeting somebody
who's the yin to your yang.
Who allows me to not have to do that.
Right.
To not have to be that way. And it's okay to accept help. It's okay to do those things.
Right.
It makes a difference, and that comes with
maturity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Age.
Well, I think more maturity than age.
Yeah. Because people mature at different levels.
Some people ages. Never mature, no matter how old they are.
That's right. Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Yeah. Actually.
I'm a talker. Sorry.
No, don't ever be sorry for talking. I like it. If I wanted you to stop, I'd tell you to shut up. I got quite used to ordering you around for the last 4 or 5 hours. So.
Where do you want me? What do you want me to do?
Right, you stand there, don't move.
Yeah.
Liv killed herself laughing when I said I didn't mean it to come over quite the way it did.
Oh no, it was fine.
She died laughing. You could see her. Oh man,
yeah,
that was funny.
Bossy.
Ooh, that's normally Liv's the bossy one.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Yeah, some people like to be bossed around.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Oh man. Yep. All right. Well, you know, it is. Wow, we've been talking for ages.
Oh, right.
That's so cool. Yeah. No, I like it.
I'm a dog.
Yeah. I'm just going to wrap up.
Too.
Thank you.
So that, like, the whole thing has been great.
Yeah.
Because of the demeanor and the ability to create a relationship and the authenticity of who you are and who Liv is and what you've created, that makes it easier to open up and be vulnerable, which is not always the case in the world. So it's a safe space to come and explore and take a few risks.
That's a good one. I always say express, but explore is a really good one too.
And take some risks.
Yeah. Actually, I always think you should. I say, bring what makes you feel comfortable, and bring things that just push in that envelope a little bit. I don't want you to be terrified. I don't want you to be scared. I don't want you to look at your outfits, for example, and say, no, I'm never wearing that.
Yeah.
Bring some stuff that thinks, oh, I don't know if I could wear that.
Yeah.
You know, then you do.
Yeah, I mean, I brought stuff too that when we do the pictures, it probably might not even be the ones that I want.
But you did
pick
them.
one, but I wanted to do them because I felt good in them.
Yeah, you put them on, you brought them, you
Yeah.
looked amazing in them.
Yeah.
That face.
I was all sweaty. It's hard to feel amazing. Sweaty. Well, you know what
I do. But yeah, all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for talking to me afterwards as well.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.